Any second now. There we go.
Now we're live. Now we are live.
So I'm going to have Jonathan in the dark do our opening song for us.
Yeah, I'm in the dark.
Jonathan
but I'm
in the
still
dark.
here.
Jonathan in the dark.
Jonathan in the dark. Here we go. I hear out of tune strings.
And there it is.
It
And we
was
got a little
something.
Jake. We got a little Jake Allen
definitely
commentary there during.
Yeah, because I could freaking hear the strings going out of tune as I played. I was like,
Out of tune
I
strings.
spent 15 minutes tuning this thing.
It sounded so good.
Kids,
It sounded
if
good.
you,
It did sound
kids,
good.
if you get
You were
bit by the
fine.
12-string bug, you have my sympathy. Ooh. Anyway.
We never would have known if you hadn't said anything. We have an interesting show tonight, musical show. Unfortunately, the first person we're going to bring up, her voice is going out. She shredded it during a performance, which, hey, we've all been there. We've all done it. And even Renee has kind of lost some of her voice tonight.
Oh yeah, I am totally there. So I'm just trying to bring it down a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot of singing. When you sing and you perform all the time and you keep going, it gets
Understood.
It stresses you out. But I got some water here on my nice Tardon Media Network mug here.
I got water. She says it.
It is water. It is water.
Plug.
Shameful plug. What network are we on? Gee, I can't remember.
TMN.
I hope you got
TMN.
Warm tea and honey in there.
Yeah, warm tea and honey.
Good for your throat.
Yeah, warm.
Where's the shot of bourbon to go in
it? That's not good for the throat. That's not good.
Yeah, that's
maybe good for the soul, but not good for the throat. So
exactly.
We've got coming up later. We got Daniel Gay coming on the show. He's a friend of ours from way back.
Yes, I love Daniel Gay. I love Daniel Gay.
So
oh my god!
And we're going to bring up Mickey Sharp right now. Let's go ahead and do that.
Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Yay!
Hi.
There she is. Now, do you prefer to be called Mackenzie or Mickey?
Mickey.
Mickey. Okay.
Mickey.
Very good. I just want to make sure. I noticed sometimes you would type in Mackenzie to me, or some of your stuff would have Mackenzie on it. But
right,
most of your
my,
friends call you
email
Mickey.
addresses and stuff.
Most of your friends call you Mickey. So,
and I am resisting singing the song. I will not sing the song. I promise that you're so fine. I do it. I hear it in my head, though. I'm just gonna say I do hear it in my head. You get that all the time. Yeah, it's fun.
Of course, Renee.
And I love your shirt.
Walk away, Renee.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I love the shirt that you're wearing.
Thank you.
Yes. I got one of those.
The sister network to KMH, where we are now, and another sister of TMN. We are all together. I love this. Yes. This is great.
So I got to ask this question. It's part of the deal. Where did it all begin? Where did the music begin for you?
Well, I think what I've always brought it back to, the main moment in life, right? I was 9 years old watching Fuse and MTV, and I saw the My Chemical Romance music video for Helena, and I was like, this is it. Music is it, especially theatrical, which it makes a lot of sense for the band that I'm in now. Mm-hmm. But that was it forever. I mean, I was 9 years old then, and then I kept getting older and I was too afraid to do anything. So technically it all started with Socially Distant Fest. I
Okay.
had never performed in
Wow.
public, had never performed in
Holy
public.
cow.
My own mother,
Really?
my own mom had never heard me sing. And I
That's
like,
crazy. I
yeah.
can't believe that. I cannot believe that. I am like freaking out right now. I'm gobsmacked because you're such the consummate professional. You're so natural.
Yes.
How did you overcome like jitters and stuff? Like, did you not have any stage fright?
That's a great question.
I
Thank you.
it's baffling to me even because it was mortifying in my head. But I think I just like I had done so many like live streams that I was at least somewhat used to singing in front of people in my head anyway. So the first time I got on stage, it was like that. Like it was like I had been doing it forever. So
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
first. That's the first time I've ever
Wow.
heard somebody say they got over stage fright by doing like social media.
I
Yeah,
did that.
That's crazy.
that's incredible.
it's possible, yeah.
How do you feel differently about yourself now knowing that this is like a new persona, right? You're basically reinventing yourself and what's possible for you. You're forging ahead. I mean, how does that make you feel about yourself? What has that taught you about Mickey?
It's definitely made me conquer most fears at this point. Anytime I'm slightly uncomfortable about something, I'm like, whatever. Like I just have to embrace that
Damn.
terrified moment and be like, once I step over this, I'm gonna be good. So it's made me like completely approach everything completely differently.
Now, you do like visual performers. I mean, I saw on your webpage when I was looking for stuff to ask you about, I saw Amy Winehouse, I saw Lady Gaga. There's a lot of references to the visual performers that, you know, kind of do rock and roll. Any others? What are some of the other ones you can tell us?
Pretty much in that same vein, you know, like David Bowie.
Yeah.
And then even like a lot of musical theater, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Wow.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course,
I
you know,
saw
My
mention of
Chemical Romance,
Rocky
they're
Horror
quite
Picture
theatrical
Show
too.
and the sequel, Shock Treatment. You had mentioned you love the
Yeah.
theme song for Shock Treatment.
Mhm.
I do.
Unashamedly.
Yeah, I can't help it. It's something about it. It's almost better than all the other songs to me. It's like every time I listen to it.
Mickey, who first steered you toward SDF? How'd you first find out about it?
That's something that I still can't figure out. I can't remember.
Wow.
I think about it all the time. Like I just landed there somehow. I have no idea.
And we're
It was
super glad
destiny.
that you did.
Have to go back in the annals of
So
time.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I keep thinking like, who do I need to thank? I have no idea.
I know.
Well,
Now,
we have- Go ahead.
Sandy is saying to tell them about how you used to go live with Keith Cuts.
Oh,
of
I
course,
was gonna
the
ask about
painter
that
who
too,
did all the
'cause
paintings.
Mickey, you were the inspiration behind Jake Face. Tell us a little bit about that and how you go live with Keith.
Okay, so before I even became a performer on
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost your audio. We lost your audio, Mickey.
Oh dear.
Come back
Oh,
to
there she
us.
is.
Come back. We miss you.
Sorry
Okay,
for a second.
There
You're
she
back.
is. There she
Yeah,
is. We're
we
good.
got you.
Coming back.
We're good.
Something happened. Okay, hold on one
Mhm.
second, guys.
Sounds a lot better too.
Yeah, I think that my boyfriend's phone just connected to my AirPods for some reason.
Oh boy.
My AirPods always give me
Alright.
trouble. That's why I'm not wearing. But yeah.
My boyfriend's phone
Where's Jake?
got a call and then it instantly connected to mine for
Oh
some
my
reason.
gosh.
I was like, what's going on?
Bluetooth. I
Ouch.
got it.
That's not good.
Jake Allen just
So
mentioned that he
hopefully
loves
that-
your shirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jake
Thank
Allen says he
you.
loves your shirt, and then someone says to ask you about Twin Peaks and also the Dylan tattoo.
Okay. Where do we? Okay, the Keith thing. So
Keith Cuts and Jake
whenever I
Face.
first started watching SDF, he was definitely one of the people that I became friends with instantly, and he lives in Atlanta. So we were like, let's hang out. And the first time I ever went live on SDF, it was with him. So that was kind of like
Wow.
breaking through for me, like all right, I can do this live streaming thing. And then I started doing it privately, and here we are.
Well, that helps with it because Keith is like really at ease in front of the camera. He's in front of the camera all the time. He's
Yes.
like, he'll do like
Exactly.
4 hours streams. So that's cool. Yeah, that always helps if you can do that. That's iconic, by the way, having both of you guys on screen.
Yeah,
So
he and I was definitely pretty low key mortified the first time that I did the stream with him. And I was wearing this really hot onesie, so I was like drenched in sweat by the end of it.
Aw.
Oh god.
Oh,
That is so
But, yeah.
funny. That's hilarious.
Now you have some of his art behind you, right?
So the Biggie Smalls one is his, and the other two are ones that I've done, but they're very similar to his style, I suppose.
Ah, you're an artist as well. I like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man back there.
Thank you.
Very nice.
How did you get interested in painting? Rory's a painter as well. So, you guys have that in common. So I'm not a visual artist. I just wish I could be. I'm envious. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just do Stay Puft. But how did you do that? How did you do that? What's your process?
That's something that I've been doing much longer than anything else, really. I've always been a visual artist before.
Wow.
I have like a 5 minutes, this is a much longer story. I don't know if we even have time for it, but I had like a short internet 5 minutes of fame because I painted some dresses for Foster the People, and those kind of blew up online. So I was always more comfortable because I was so scared to be on stage and singing that I would be like, well, I can do this though. But I don't do it as much nowadays.
I find it a little hard. Go ahead, Roy. If you were
No,
to
go
say
ahead.
something.
No, go ahead.
So you mentioned, being like, just eat up in stage fright and stuff. Yet we see, pictures and videos of you performing on stage, and you just command the stage in whatever you do. Where did you get that on stage persona from? Who did you observe and say to yourself, I could do this?
More than anything, I think Lady Gaga is where I kind of have focused my inspiration mostly. And I've spent probably a million hours in front of the mirror singing and performing. So I was like, if I just do that, it'll be good.
Holy cow.
Getting those moves down.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the Valley Ghouls.
Okay, so our bassist's name is Katie, and I met her randomly one evening, and she does hair, and she was like, you need to make an appointment to come get your hair done. And I was like, yes, of course. So we did that, and every time I would go to get my hair done, she would be like, you need to sing with my band. They were all instrumental before I joined. So I was like, no. I was like, nope, can't do it. And she was like, just try, just come to practice. I kind of joke and say she tricked me into joining the band, but I'm very grateful for it. And so it just kind of happens organically and almost on accident, but they are my favorite local bands, and I'm very grateful to get to sing with them because it's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Wow. And look at the logo here that we got up here. That I remember that I used to get I don't know if they were decals that you could actually iron on t-shirts, or maybe they were big stickers, but they had these kind of character faces on them, but they were driving like hot rods. I remember.
I think that's actually what it was, his inspiration for the style of that he went for with it. Yeah.
So, but that is great. That is awesome. And I've seen video of you doing with the Valley Ghouls performing, and that's awesome. I also am a singer who cannot play guitar, piano, or any other things, but I like to sing. I love to sing. So, I'm out there doing what I can. You're lucky. You got a band that said, "Hey, come sing with us."
Oh, I know, and I'm super grateful for that because I actually have a solo show coming up this weekend, and it'll be my first time doing that on my own. And so I'm like,
wow.
why can't someone just play for me?
And again, when you're up on that stage, you own it.
Yes, you
definitely
do.
It shows that you
Nikki,
practice in front of the mirror.
Who's on your
There's
playlist like right now? Like which bands or whatever would we see on your playlist?
I've mostly been listening to a lot of instrumental rockabilly
Really?
and surf rock solely because of the Valley Ghouls, just so that I can learn more about that.
Interesting.
I'm so out of the loop when it comes to new music right now, which is very weird for me. Usually I know everything that's going on, but I've just been so focused on honing in my craft that I don't even know that. I listen to more podcasts than music, to be honest with you.
Same. Mickey, where in this wide world of ours were you born? Where did this all begin?
I was born in a small town in Indiana called Washington.
Washington, Indiana.
Yeah.
So what was it? So take us back to there, growing up in Indiana. Well, first of all, how long were you in Indiana for?
For 6 years, so it was very short, but I remember it well.
And you go from Washington, Indiana to where?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida now.
So you've been there ever since you were 6 years old?
Yep. Well, I moved to Arizona briefly, but that was less than a year or so.
So as a kid, what kinds of music did you sort of gravitate to? Was it the traditional, just rock and stuff like that, or was it like regional based? Were you more into country or folk or something like that?
So music's definitely always been a major part of my life. I mean, like my first love, I think, was Fleetwood Mac. And like just going for drives in the country with my family, and they'd have like cassettes they would put on, and Fleetwood Mac I remember much. My grandmother listened to like doo-wop, and so the Diana Ross and the Supremes. I was kind of all over the place. My dad was like really into Slayer and Primus. So like all over the place.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah. So it was a lot all at once.
You have the most eclectic musical upbringing of anyone I've ever known.
Yeah,
I love that.
and it's definitely projected itself onto my personality today, because that's me in a nutshell. Like I can talk about almost any band really.
I noticed again you were friends with several of our friends like Keith Cutts and Ivan Basil. You seem to be a fan of the. You were actually on Empire of Excellence, right?
Correct.
As a guest.
Yeah. As a character, actually, as like one of the staple characters in the show, which that made me feel good. I loved it. I love that show. I was like, I get to be a
don't say it's a character. It's real. She's real to me. Real.
I'm loving the.
Tell us about the character you most identify with.
Yeah, it's real.
What was the inspiration behind the Oracle? I mean, how did and you collaborating with Ivan and all of that? How did that all come about?
Sure. So Ivan basically came up with the premise for the show before I really even knew that much about it. He wanted to have a meeting with me, and he pitched the idea to me. The Oracle was completely his doing. This is the idea for the character, and this is what her name is going to be. And then he gave me all the creative ability to do whatever I wanted to with it. So I came up with the look, of course, inspired by Elvira, the way that I decided to style my hair and whatnot. And so I wrote the scripts and the oracle readings on myself. I learned a lot about horoscopes, that's for sure.
It's so convincing. I thought it was based around you. I thought you brought that character. It's so realistic. No. You embody it so perfectly. That this is blowing my mind right now. So are you an actress? Do you consider yourself an actor? Is that something you want to go into? Because
I never really considered myself to be one. However, I've come to find that it might be a big part of my whole persona as a performer, because when I am on stage with the Valley Ghouls, I am in fact acting. I mean,
Right.
I've come up with this that's almost this act that I'm doing in my body motions and certain things that I do. So this is something I'm learning about myself in real time for everyone to see.
All the
Right.
world's a stage, and we are merely the actors.
This is true.
Amen, brother.
What kind of I want to do a Dennis Tardon question. What kind of a kid were you? Who was your clique in high school? How would you describe yourself as like a 14-year-old? You know, like where would we see 14-year-old Mickey? What were you doing? Who were your people? What subjects did you like? You know, introduce us to Mickey Sharp as a kid.
Sure. So I was pretty antisocial. I ended up dropping out of high school because of social anxiety. I didn't really have a clique. I spent most of my time hanging out by myself. I branched out much closer to adulthood, and so that introspectiveness definitely, I think, helped me grow as an artist for sure. I was listening to a lot of music and painting a lot whenever I was 14.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome.
You said you listened to a lot of instrumental music. Can you give us a little hint as to what kind of music you were listening to? Was it more classical or soundtracks for movies? Or
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all of it. I have a small collection of like Kubrick soundtracks on vinyl. That's something that I hunt for. So I get a kick out of those, which there are a lot of actual lyrical songs on those as well. But I mean, piano for sure, just anything. Electronic music is a big part of my life as well. All over the board.
I can see you listening to Danny Elfman. Definitely.
That's something that I can't talk about. Actually, I don't even know.
Check into Danny Elfman.
Wow.
Add that to my list.
Started out as in Oingo Boingo, and then he went on to do some, I mean, seriously iconic movie soundtracks.
Okay.
Like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure was where he started. Yeah,
that was his first one,
with Tim Burton. Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. I actually listened to a podcast about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I didn't remember that detail. So,
which podcast are you listening to?
I guess you really liked it.
Oh God, here we go.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't even know. Like, where do
what
I
are some of your favorite? Like, just like name a few. I'm always looking for like good ones, and I know JP over here. He listens to a lot of podcasts.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, last podcast on the left, which is horror based, is my jam.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I listen to My Brother and Me, which is more of a comedy based podcast. I listen to a podcast about Sonic the Hedgehog.
What?
Wow.
You got to talk to Troy Moore. I think he would like that. Well,
Yes.
Are you going to do your own? Are you going to do your own podcast / TV show? You definitely could be a host, right? You have that magnetism.
I really would love to, but I've been racking my brain for years about a subject that I feel like I would do well with, and that hasn't been too oversaturated already. So once I figure that out, oh yeah, I'm in it.
Oh yeah. You'll be really good at that.
Mickey, what is somewhat a band or a singer on your playlist that we might be surprised to see there? Like, who's your guilty pleasure? Musically.
Like Carly Rae Jepsen. Really cheesy pop music. I get super down to.
I feel like you are probably a reader and a writer. I mean, other books, like, do you do a lot of like literature stuff? Because you seem like you're someone who might journal also, or do like some creative writing.
I definitely used to, not so much anymore. I have like old journals and stuff, and poetry actually that I've been digging through recently, inspired by you guys. I know that. And
really?
Yeah. There's a lot of poetry reading and stuff going on. So I've actually just recently pulled out my old poetry notebook, and I was like looking through it and trying to write more. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see some performances of that on SDF soon.
Yes.
I'm gonna try. It'll be good whenever my voice is all messed up and I can't sing. I'll just read.
How did you blow it out? Do you know when it happened? I mean, do you know the moment that it happened? Or
No, it happens all the time. I can always feel when it's going to happen, and I was like I was already barely there at the show, and I was like, I just got to get through it. And during we do a cover of Rock Lobster, and I have to make all these crazy animal noises. So that's always.
Here comes the narwhal. Woo!
Here we go. Here comes a manta ray.
Yeah.
Here comes a snake ray.
You're doing a nice Fred Schneider. You gotta, Fred Schneider. I gotta see that because it's legendary, and I haven't seen you do Rock Lobster, but that's gonna be the next thing I do. Like tonight, I'm gonna find that because everybody talks about that. It is legendary.
When you do, send it to me.
So good.
So where are some of the places that people can catch you on a regular basis? I know that you've got a couple of hangouts that really love you guys.
Yeah.
Jackrabbits.
Sure. Well, as far as like in-person places go, we're always at Jackrabbits. We have a bunch of shows coming up for the rest of the year in Jacksonville at pretty much all of the clubs. There's a club called 1904 Music Hall. That's pretty much where I'm at. If I'm not performing, I'm there hanging out. And Justice Pub, just a bunch of other places. But as far as the virtual world goes, I try to be on here as much as I can, but people know where to find me. I'm here.
Awesome. And again, I hope that you get lots of gigs coming up in the near future. I know that things kind of took a turn for the worse here in Florida. I'm also in Florida, Central Florida. So
awesome.
Yeah. So I hope that things work out for you and you stay safe out there.
Thank you.
And again, when you're on stage, you own it. I love watching you perform.
Thank you so much.
We love Mickey Sharp. And you have all your fans came here. Make sure you go back over the comments because everybody was like freaking out about how awesome you are.
A lot of comments.
A lot of comments. I couldn't even get them all up on the screen or whatever, but go back and look at it. Yeah, your people came out. Seriously.
You're going to have to go back and do a lot of hearts later.
I will. Oh, yeah. No, I need that serotonin boost. I'm ready to go through that and feel all full of myself.
What else has been going on with you lately? Anything out of the ordinary?
Besides trying to branch out and do some solo shows, that's pretty much what I have on my agenda lately as far as getting ready for that and practicing songs by myself and booking more solo gigs. That's the step forward now. I've got to branch out from the ghouls and give them a break sometimes and do my own stuff. So that's what I'm and learning how to play this piano. That's what I'm focused on right now.
There you go. Yeah, after looking at the ghouls logo and talking to you about that, I really should have booked you in October. I realized. Hey, there it is. Again, we're giving them a taste before October gets here. September's here already, so get those Halloween things out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on, and you're welcome to stay here and watch Daniel Gay when he comes up.
Absolutely.
He's going to perform with us, and again, if you have a question for him, you can ask a question. We enjoy when our first guest stays for the second half.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna pop over and so I can get in the comments and load up.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Thank you again so much.
You're welcome.
Let's go ahead and bring Daniel Gay on up.
There he is.
With his better lighting.
Daniel.
Had a lighting problem before we got started, but he looks great now.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's great to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
We actually talked to you earlier about getting on the show when we first started, and something went. I can't remember what it was. Something went awry, and we didn't get you on the early show. So I'm glad we finally did get you on. There are so many things about you that I just really like, Daniel. And I remember when I reached out to you, you're like, you were very humble. You're like, do you think I'm good enough to be on the show?
Hey man,
and I was like, come on.
COVID has wrecked our egos and everything else, so you never know. So it's worth, I'm really happy to be here. It's great, getting to know so many people over this time, through the social media, because everything, it really has changed the world forever, I think, and we're connected in a way we never have been. So it's great. I'm in Worcester, Massachusetts. You're in Florida. Jonathan's in North Carolina. Renee's in New York. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And we're all here together, you know.
And we're all together. It's this big collaboration, right? And
Yeah.
I've met all these amazing people and all the diversity too. I mean, we had Mickey Sharp on here.
Absolutely.
Now we have Daniel
I didn't
Day.
realize she was in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
that was a wonderful interview. I really enjoyed that, and listening to.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to checking out the Valley Ghouls. I love the idea of the rockabilly stuff. That sounds awesome.
oh yeah, and I want to see the Rock Lobster thing. Do you do Rock Lobster? I feel like you could do a great. I would love to see you and Sid do a Rock Lobster.
Oh yeah,
Yes. There you
that'll
go.
that will happen now that you said that, Renee. So,
The challenge is out there,
Challenge is
Daniel.
out there.
The challenge
Oh
is.
boy.
I challenge
Renee's
you
gonna
and
be
Sid.
writing Daniel's set list before long.
yeah, I think the B-52s are the next step of their musical education. So I think that's let's do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a necessary part. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful part of it. I absolutely love it, you know. But you're an amazing musician. I mean, you know, Daniel, the thing is that we know when we get you, we get this true consummate professional. You are as musician-y as it gets. I mean, when we did Tart On Tonight, we literally had this like flyer that had all this like music on it. We gave it to you and you played it and sent us a video that we played on air. It was like the turnaround was like that. I mean,
Everyone has party tricks, you know. Everyone has a party trick. That one, that's
how
mine.
did you? Were you one of those kids that like your mom was having you play piano when you were like 2 years old and all that? How did you get started into the you know, that real musician-y thing? Like, I can't read music anymore, you know. So for me, I'm very impressed.
For me, it was neither of my parents are music. My mom's passed away, but neither of my parents are musicians. But my house always had music in it. And my earliest musical memories are definitely the Ramones. My dad is a huge Ramones fan. The Clash. My musical education was that first wave of punk rock. And then my parents got an old beat up piano, put it in the corner of the house and said, let's get some lessons. I never really cared. And then one day it just clicked. And after 2 or 3 years of taking lessons, I was like, you know, I really like this. I'm pretty good at it. And I stuck with it. And I played through school, played in bands, got into rock bands in high school, and really had a pretty cool musical experience. I'm from Burlington, Vermont, and I grew up there in the 90s, and there was a really active local music scene. And I was part of that then with, you know, the ska and punk bands and things. And I got to do a lot of things when I was young. And then I kind of took a break from it for a while. And I'm 43 now. And here I am on social media on an interview. But yeah.
Well, and again, you play so many different instruments. You play the accordion, you play guitar, you play piano. I mean, and I'm sure there's others.
Yeah, I went to school for music. After high school, music saved my life, like it did, I think, for a lot of people.
Yes.
I was a really shy kid. I grew up in a kind of a small place. I never really felt like I fit in a lot. I had some good friends, but I didn't like school. But I loved music. And I was always good at it. I did well enough in classes, and I graduated. And I went to university for music, and it was, you know, the best thing I could have ever done. And, you know, I was challenged. Yeah, I was around great people that, you know, everyone kind of raised each other's levels. And you're exposed to the whole world of music at a university. You know, I went to the University of Massachusetts. And, yeah, I really loved that experience.
Okay, well, you said you would actually be able to perform for us this evening, so we hope that we're looking forward to a little mini concert from you.
Yeah, I'd love to play a couple songs. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, this first one, I really I'm influenced a lot by Russian, Eastern European music and culture, and also the art and architecture and stuff. And this is based on something like that. It doesn't really have a title. I'll see where it goes. Thanks for being here. something
Wow.
based on some sort of Eastern European, Soviet, bygone era that I've created in my head. And that's, I love
And
that stuff.
I got a feeling like it had a kind of a silent film kind of feel to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, I
felt like Buster Keaton was going to come busting through the wall in a second.
I think of any era. I'm a history teacher in school. That's my job. And of any era I could live in, I think that would be it. I just think the 1920s, the 1910s, I just think it was such a fascinating time. Musically, culturally, I just think what was happening is just incredible. You know, and that's probably where that would come from. I could play another piece for you now, kind of along those lines. This is not mine, but as a musician, I think I'm more influenced by a composer named Jan Tiersen than any other person that I can point to. And he's a French composer. He's written a lot for film. He's also, made a lot of rock albums. But this is one of his pieces. It was featured in Amélie, a movie from, the early 2000s.
I know it.
And it's called L'après-midi. Beautiful piece.
That's beautiful. That's just beautiful.
Took some liberties with it, but that's basically the piece. And he's just totally worth checking out. He has a new record that's just absolutely fantastic. He's touring in the United States. I know this isn't a show to promote Jan Tiersen, but he's awesome. I'm gonna just say he's worth every second of your time.
Your interview is whatever you want it to be.
Awesome.
That's what my guideline is for this show.
He's worth the ticket price.
But Amélie is a wonderful movie. I remember it well. It's a love story, and she was adorable. The girl that was the lead in that, and it was an Academy Award winner too, I believe.
Yeah, wonderful. All of their movies. The man that made it, I can't even think of his name, but City of Lost Children, Amélie. There's so many great French films, and he's just Jean.
I didn't know he did City of Lost Children.
Yeah, that's just such great storytelling.
Yeah,
I'm definitely influenced by that stuff as a musician.
So different too.
Definitely, yeah, very different.
That one had Ron Perlman in it.
Yeah, as a strong man. Yeah, it was fantastic.
He was so out of place, but it was so perfect.
And he spoke French. Yeah, it was great. Absolutely.
Okay, I don't want to slow you down anymore. Go ahead and play another one that you want. That you
sure.
Like.
This one, I play in a band in Worcester, and I also play solo around central Massachusetts, and whoever will have me. And I've written some songs. I hope to record them this fall or winter. And this is one of them. This is a song about my kids called Stations of the Cross. Not a religious song at all, but has a religious title. And hope you enjoy it. plan to move far away from a station of the cross, from the games I chose to play. Before all is lost, before the dying day is consumed by the cost of all the greed and hate. The moment has arrived, the choice has not been made. Choose style over substance, or love over hate. Where we go from here in the sacrificial game will tell us if it's likely that we'll die without the pain. Over on the sidelines, the kids wait for their turns. Their attention undivided, they care so much it burns. Will the kids be chosen, or will they freeze with fear? The teachers who won't teach them the lessons they must hear. Everyone's an island, but an island with a bridge to an open field of poppies. Choose to die or choose to live. Your chance to be counted, or your chance to be removed from your station of the cross. You may win or you may lose. Well, it's called Stations of the Cross.
Wow.
And that's
And that's an original?
Yep, that's an original one. I got a bunch of them, mostly on the guitar. I don't have my guitar stuff set up, so I'm going to stick with the piano tonight. And maybe if you ever want to have me again, I'll do it on some of the guitar.
I was going to ask you if you were going to do the accordion or the guitar tonight as well, but okay, sticking with the piano. Got it.
Yeah, I'll stick with the piano tonight, but
Easier.
yeah, it's all here. My kids, I have three kids, all trying to. This is the first week of school. They're still downstairs trying to unwind, so it's like I'm trying to. The accordion might actually wind them up so much that they won't. It has that effect on people. So I'm gonna leave that one away. That's a morning or afternoon type of instrument.
I'm gonna have to ask Ivan Basil about that. He's another accordion player. This is the Ivan Basil show today. I've mentioned him like 400 times.
I didn't realize there's another.
It's a small world.
Another accordion player. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he does a lot of SDF.
Nice.
I was going to talk to you about that. I noticed on your webpage.
Yep.
That basically you are the world's greatest dad. One of the world's greatest dads.
Facebook is great at illusions. Facebook is the ultimate lie machine.
You are so humble.
I mean, I am the world's greatest dad, obviously, but you know what I mean. Yeah. No,
You're so humble.
I'm proud of my kids. I try. We have a good time.
Well, did everything change for you when you had kids?
I don't remember life before I had kids, really. I don't remember it clearly, or I remember it through a totally different lens. I think the day that I had kids, it stopped being about me. And, as much as I like to be narcissistic and, selfish, and I want those things, it's just, you're not anymore, and it's
exact same situation for me.
It's the best thing in the world, but you're never going back, it's like that. And I totally support the choice not to, and it's because,
okay.
Yeah. And it's totally okay. And because honestly, like I said, you can't go back. And there's no return policy, it's just,
it changes and you're happy for it.
Yeah.
It's, like you said, there's no regrets.
Yeah. You're a richer person, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But you lose a piece of yourself and you gain a lot of pieces of other people.
I think in my case, I lost a lot of what was bad about me.
That's the best case scenario. That's a great thing.
So, it chipped away some of the pieces that were still keeping me back, as a person.
That's awesome.
I already know the answer to this next question, but I'm asking it for our viewers.
Sure.
Do you encourage your kids to do music?
No. My oldest kid, Sid, they were just drawn to it. You know, it was just something they were naturally had a voice that I, you know, wasn't provided by either myself or my wife. It was just always liked to sing, and it just kept going from there. And now all their interests and all the things that they're finding is just, it's awesome. You know, it reminds me of myself when I was their age, but even cooler.
So you do encourage it, you just didn't push it on them. And
No, not them. And then I have two others who are twins, a boy and a girl, Mirabelle and Jarvis, and they're right below me, right down there. I
can hear them.
They're totally different. My son loves baseball. He's a great baseball player. And Mirabelle, his sister, loves school. They're all totally different. They have their own things, and it's cool.
Well, that's great.
And I have an awesome wife who keeps it all together. So
the glue that holds it all together.
Everything's working out so far.
Wonderful.
But again, this is Facebook, so it all might be a lie, right?
And on that happy note, let's play another song.
All right. This is a traditional tune. It's actually, I learned it from the Alan Lomax songbook, and which, if you're a musician, I highly recommend having just in your library. It's just a great historical book. Plus,
okay, one more time. Andy Lomax?
Alan Lomax.
Alan Lomax.
Yeah,
Alan
Lomax with an X at the end.
Lomax. Okay.
Yep. And it's
songbook.
Just, he compiled hundreds of folk songs from the 1850s all the way through, and this is one of them. This is an old outlaw tune called Jesse James. Jesse James was a lad. He killed many a man. He robbed that Glendale train. That dirty little coward who shot Mr. Howard and laid poor Jesse James in his grave. Well, Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. Well, that dirty little coward who shot Mr. Howard had laid Jesse James in his grave. All the words, but that's basically the idea of that tune. I think there's 30 verses or something, and if you read the whole thing, you'll get who Jesse James was. It's totally worth your time. So
I definitely got a saloon hall feel about that.
Yeah, that's a bar room. That's bar room all the way. Yep.
Matt is asking, how did you stumble upon this
song?
Sounds great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Alan Lomax.
I think I've always been really interested in folk music from all over the world. And I always avoided American folk music. For some reason, I was more interested in, learning different European styles, studying different kinds of things from over there. Mm-hmm. Then one day, a friend of mine turned me on to this Alan Lomax stuff. And I read it. And it's just this big book. It's just get a soft cover book. There's hundreds of songs, and the coolest thing about it is it's compiled. There's no author, so all of this stuff is just oral tradition stuff, and these songs are just absolutely incredible. And so many of them are part of the American songbook. Jesse James isn't really there, but Bruce Springsteen's covered this. The Pogues. There's so many versions of this song, and it all comes from Alan Lomax, who's not a musician. He's a historian, and
And he did all the work for you. He put it all
he
together.
did the work.
Compiled it.
And, yeah, and if you're a fan of anything from Nick Cave to Billy Bragg, it doesn't matter like what your interests are. They all they're influenced by this stuff, and it's totally worth your time. Yeah, and that's kind of where I learned Jesse James. I've always loved westerns. I love Ennio Morricone. I love that style of music, the cinematic stuff.
If Mickey Sharp is listening, that's another good one. Ennio Morricone.
Yeah, and
yeah,
Angelo Badalamenti. And there's some just
I was more into oh my gosh, who was the one from Citizen Kane and Taxi Driver?
Yeah,
it's killing me that I can't remember his name now. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's so much great
It'll
soundtrack.
come to me.
So the soundtrack guys are as much of an influence.
Bernard Herrmann.
Oh, Bernard Herrmann, and
Bernard
he did
Herrmann.
some Twilight Zone stuff too. He's so great.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Corey Lynn is watching. Always love it when Corey Lynn is watching. She's wondering if you're a teacher, what age group are you teaching? This is an interesting question.
Corey, I'm a huge fan. I know you're in Virginia. I love your music. I'd love to do a show with you sometime, but who knows if that'll ever happen. But I'm an ESL. I teach English as a second language and history, and I teach at a school in Worcester, Massachusetts that's made up of newcomers and refugees. And my age group is 18 to 22-year-olds. And it's the greatest job in the world. Love it.
I used to teach ESL in China. Yeah.
I remember talking to you about that. Yeah, that's similar job. Yep.
And she's saying she would love to do a concert with you as well.
Yeah, awesome. We'll make it happen.
I got a feeling we got another reunion coming up. Go ahead and play us another song if you can.
All right.
And I know you can.
All right. This is a cover, but it's by a band called Codeine. It's called The New Year, but this is a new school year and it feels like a fresh start. So I feel like it's apropos in a way. So this song's called The New Year. It was actually, just to get this right, I don't want to, Codeine is how I know it. It was written by a band called Seam from Cincinnati, who are awesome as well. But anyway, I know the Codeine version. This is sort of based on that. So sad to feel the way I am. Today is another day. You do what you can. I feel so sad, so bad today. All our friends have gone away. Here in my castle, lines crease my face. Take them away, take them far away. Feel so sad, so bad today. All our friends have gone away.
Wow.
That song's called New Year by Codeine. Also, I don't know if anyone knows. I want to give one more plug to the great Chris Brokaw of Codeine, of the band Come. He's a Boston musician. I'm a huge fan. He doesn't know me, but I just want to say he knows I've covered this song. And he's fantastic. He has a record that came out last year that's just incredible. That's worth checking out also. And if he's ever in your neck of the woods, check out Chris Brokaw. He's an awesome musician. Great show.
Brokaw, like Tom Brokaw.
Like Tom Brokaw.
Brokaw.
Yes.
That's the only impression I can do of him is just him saying his own name. Tom Brokaw.
By the way, your impressions are incredible.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
Yes, like I watched a bunch of stuff on YouTube that you've done from stand-up stuff earlier in life. I loved it.
I have a lot of fun on Thursday nights when we do Impersonation Nation on Clubhouse, and
cool.
I'll always throw in something out of left field to keep them on their toes, like
awesome.
like I did Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. You're like, yeah, you get out of my kitchen now. Just keep on their toes.
Yeah, I could listen all day, man. That's awesome.
You said everybody's got party tricks, and people give you requests, and you just kind of bang stuff out. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, if I
was to say, can you do a little Danny Elfman for me right now? Can you do a little Beetlejuice? You might be able to bang out a few bars of that.
I don't think I can. I need it.
I stumped you.
I need it in my head. I need something. If I had a computer here, I could do it. But the only sound I could do this sound. Here's some John Williams for you.
There you go. The Jaws theme.
That's all.
Hey, we're talking about jargon for a living.
I'm in Massachusetts. I had to do that.
All right. Well, we got time for one more short song if you want to do it.
Sure. All right.
Okay, great.
All right. Let's see. This is another style of music I like. I guess it kind of fits into that barroom thing. It's a little more boogie woogie, I guess. I actually don't know where this is gonna go, but really appreciate everyone listening tonight. My name's Daniel Gay. Thank you, Rory. Thank you. It's Casual. Thank you, Jonathan, Renee, Mickey. Everything was great. I really appreciate it, guys.
Awesome. So if you're in the Midwest and you've got a little independent film that you're making, this guy can do your soundtrack for you. All right.
The weirder,
he'll cut you a good deal.
You know, Charlie Chaplin meets John Carpenter. We'll meet somewhere in the middle.
That's right. Carpenter did all of his own soundtracks.
Yeah, amazing. He's another one.
And Kim Ware is here and Tom Cheshire is here.
Awesome.
Just wanted to give a shout out to them as well. Of course, Corey Lynn said, I'm just so enamored with the way Daniel plays. It's like a feeling all the way. I mean, so many big superstars here, and Daniel is one. And we're just, Daniel, you are always the perfect. You were an impeccable guest. You're an impeccable performer. It's just such a joy to share the stage with you anytime we can do it. You have an open invitation to anything on the Tart on Media Network.
We're definitely going to have to get back again soon.
Thank you, everybody. It was a wonderful night. Thank you, guys.
Yes, and Mickey Sharp
real
is
quick,
here.
Oh, yeah, and I saw Kim Ware. She liked my Tom Brokaw impression.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. She was talking about the other Brokaw.
I like it too, yeah.
You have a YouTube channel, am I right?
Yeah, you can go to Daniel Gay Music YouTube. Also, I have it as the Daniel Gay Cacophony on Facebook. You can find me there. If you're in Massachusetts, I've been playing some shows around there. Otherwise, I'll see you online. You can follow me on YouTube, and Yeah.
And
Thank you.
please give our love to your kids, Sid. They are
I will.
amazing.
Yes.
They are a superstar.
Oh,
They,
thank you.
Mhm.
dare I
Sid
say,
is a
they
good
are
singer.
even a bigger superstar than you are, Daniel.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
already
I
know that.
know. Like if we had more time, they would have been here. But
Hey, that's
school and
Sid's
all.
dad.
School and all.
That's what happened in China. I became the guy in the back seat, and my daughter was the big star.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
it.
Tina's dad.
Yeah, it's better. I
You're
don't like
Sid's
this part.
dad, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I want to thank
guys.
Mickey Sharp again.
Thank you all.
Hope you can catch her in the near future in Jacksonville. And again, Daniel, yeah, we got to get you back on again soon. You're a great
Awesome.
guest. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thank you, Renee and Jonathan.
Thank
all
you.
your
Thank you,
help.
Rory. Love y'all.
And everybody have a
Take
good night.
Thank you, Rory Penland.